Not a good. That ain't my jam.
Beautiful.
Okay.
My boy Jay and I, we sticking together like this.
Courtney's theory is why do you think grandma had 10 kids and had all her bills paid and didn't have to work? It's because of that move.
That's cute. You're going to have to interject that later.
Well, everybody's got a plan. If it works for you to get it on, son. Whatever it takes. This is After Dark.
On that note, we're going live on the internet. There we go. And 3, 2, 1.
Now, how do you know if we're
What's
live?
up? I'm seeing it right here.
Hey.
You should be seeing
Are
it
you
right
on
there.
live right now?
We should be. It's
So,
pulling up.
Hold
Hello,
on.
everybody.
We don't know that.
Are we live?
We don't know.
Finding out.
This is the way it was when Open Eyes. Remember when I got in there with my glasses and was looking down at the camera?
That's it.
And everybody's like, "You're on." I was like, "My bad."
My bad.
Did
Here
we ever
go.
find out? Did we actually have visual last week?
No,
We did not.
We did not.
At
Not
all.
work. If you're tuning in today, thanks for working. But we're on here.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Hey.
Here we are.
See, we even got like a assistant producer. Christy's back there looking.
know.
Behind the
Tell
mic.
us if it don't go
I
right,
brought
Christy.
my backup friend here with me
Well, we could have gave her
to
a
be
mic.
on my side.
You could have gave her a mic. We could have doubled up.
She's
You
probably
need somebody
gonna
on your side
she's-
after Sunday. Andy.
You got all. Oh, I
yes.
forgot. I came back.
That's right.
And you got all these guys in here, so this is a little
Outnumbered.
bit.
Yeah, I
this
know.
is tough on you.
She's probably gonna make some appearances coming up here before too long.
She is okay. That's fine.
Put her in there. Welcome to
Come
Backstage
on.
with the Simple Church podcast. If you're listening, you can watch it live on Mondays now. But if you're listening later, you don't know that Angie Haigler's here with Justin Haigler.
Come on, we back.
Back
Oh,
2
we
weeks
didn't
in
get
a
our
row.
music in there.
We didn't. We're going to do it in post this time.
Okay. Yeah. There it is.
There it
Yeah,
is.
we'll
There's
throw
the
that in there.
screen.
Yeah, that's fair.
So thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being with us. And we are excited to be back. And Josh Mitchell,
Hey.
we got a lot
I'm
to talk
always here.
about. We got a
feel
lot
like
to
I'm in
unpack
your-
after Sunday.
I feel like I'm in your way.
You're
Angie, you're not
You're
have to
so
worry
good.
about them. We're talking.
People
you don't
would
look at
rather
the
see you
camera.
anyway. You're the
supposed
guest.
to look at y'all.
You don't
I'm
have-
so used to Sunday morning. Hey, I'm gonna
Hey.
go this way.
Yeah, you ain't got to worry about
Hey.
them.
Okay.
They good.
That's good.
There we go. 14 people tuned in already.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for
Hey.
tuning
Oh, my
in.
goodness.
3:30
Here.
Drop
on
us a
Mondays.
comment. We'll be watching the comments as we're going live, so tune in each Monday. But Justin,
Hey, you know why? They tuned in for the fireworks.
I was going to say, if there was ever a week,
Oh my goodness, they
I
came
didn't-
for the moo.
Angie. Fire.
Well, I'm glad
I'm always
somebody
here for the
does.
moo-moo.
No, we're not. Let's hold on. Let's take this a little at a
Okay,
time.
Because if you
Okay,
thought Flabby
let's-
Arms 2 weeks ago was something, they
Yeah,
took it next
well,
level
but
yesterday.
That was his nanny. Okay, so you know what? You had a lot to say yesterday, so let me start.
Amen. And what I want
Ready?
to say before you begin,
Yes, sir.
George's not here. DK's here, and we just want you to know, thank you, DK, for
That's
sitting
right.
in. 'cause
Daniel
it's-
Kelly.
Thank you.
Yeah, no,
DK.
that's
Filling
DK,
in.
man. So the reason I'm saying that is you have full right, because we really do need to address things that were said. We can cut up and have it all good time, but like if there's something in there, I had more emails and text
Yeah.
positive. Everybody will always ask me,
Good.
like, do people tear us up? Occasionally people, but really a lot of them are like, man, I needed it. Thank you, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah.
Those people
So-
left a long time ago.
Yeah, I think most of those people kind of know. When I start Justin After Dark, that podcast, that's when it'll go even to another
That-
level.
that-
If you're
That's
interested in a
Yeah.
paywall podcast with
Yeah,
Justin
well-
uncensored,
Yeah.
that's the idea that's been floated around.
What is that?
Yes.
A Patreon account or
Uh-huh,
something?
Patreon.
Patreon.
Subscribe
yeah.
to the Patreon.
You get behind
Okay.
the wall, we're going to keep it real. Right now, we keep it kind of real, but it ain't real. But you go ahead. I just had to give the little disclaimer. Thank you, Angie.
Oh, no problem. Okay, so few things.
Mm.
First thing was, okay, so yesterday morning we do the pre-show, and then I was getting the pop-up shop set up and all that. So I didn't go
Working.
to first service because
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing all that. So second hour, I go to teach children.
Yep.
Then, God bless her, I've spoken of her before. Casey Freeman comes in. Love her.
She got a shout out on pre-show.
She did.
She got a shout
'Cause
out
she's all
on the
about the
pre-show.
devil. She don't
yeah,
like the
she's
devil.
Casey. I don't know if you're you're watching. You're probably not.
She ain't watching. She don't know how to turn all that on. She
Oh
ain't
my
even worried
gosh!
about
But
all
look,
that.
she came in the children's building. She looked at me like this. She goes,
Okay.
"Have you been in service yet?"
I
So-
I saved this live on the air. My favorite was somebody that we all know walked into the kids building at like 11:05, and they said, "Oh, I didn't know it was PG-13 today. They're coming to class." They walked out of service and brought them in. Whatever you said the first thing.
Yeah, but I tried to warn you. We didn't have Caleb to print the signs, but we put it out there.
Yeah.
Which
It
is,
was in
come on, y'all.
The weekly email.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that but there's the PG-13, that's fine. I get it. We'll
That's
get
fine.
into that. Go ahead.
Okay, just so a couple. So she comes in and she goes, and she's such a sweet woman. She's older than us. What I'm trying to say. Okay, so
Okay,
she's older.
I'm
She
getting
comes
you.
in. She goes, I was like this the whole service. I just was looking down. She said, "You were under the bus the whole time. You haven't heard it yet." And I was like, "No, Casey, but what's new? I'm
The
under
only
the bus all the time."
time, correction, the only time you were really under the bus was when we talked about your wardrobe.
Okay.
Because the rest of the time, you were not.
Eugene Haigler.
Did you listen?
Number one, yes, I
Okay.
watched. You know what? Just for your benefit and my benefit,
Come on, Mama.
I watched all 3 services today. I listened to them while I was working
Oh,
in
boy.
the house.
You got
I
3
just
doses.
wanted to make sure
Hey,
I
our
got
viewership
every
went up
detail.
just by
Thank
that.
you.
Our
Thanks for
viewership
subscribing.
went up.
Yeah.
I love it.
We just hit 5,000 subscribers on
Okay.
YouTube. Subscribe.
Nice.
So I did listen to all 3 of them because you said, "Oh, listen to the middle one because blah blah." Well, I ended up listening to all of them.
Uh-huh.
But I will say this: number one,
Mm.
I have never worn a muumuu like you showed on
No,
the thing.
I
In my
had-
defense,
Fact checking.
fact check.
Okay.
Number 2, that duster or whatever you call that.
That was a memo
I wear
outfit.
a robe when I get home, and it is a white terry cloth robe. It does not look like
You-
what my memo wears or wore.
Angie
Okay.
said the record
So,
straight.
in my defense, I'm going to say this.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's number 1.
I got you.
Number 2,
I think it's number 3, but go ahead on.
wherever.
That's at Southwood now.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. Who's counting?
Okay. So, our daughter, adult children,
Yes.
they were like, "Mom,
I spoke with one of them.
Dad did not
Sunday.
tell us what the topic was today." So they came in mortified.
Okay, so let's
Number
pause.
2, we
That's
could have.
number
a-
two.
Oh, no. I think Angie has the floor.
That's about 4. Go ahead.
I'm claiming my time. So they were like, "Oh, we had a mom. You didn't tell us." Oh my! So they were freaking out. So that's lack of communication. But that was one of the topics I think that was discussed yesterday.
Okay.
Okay. So Holly Hobby. Let's just go that real quick.
Okay.
So yes, in your opinion, those PJs look like Holly
Hold
Hobby.
on. Can we
Hold
say who
on.
gave them to you?
My mom.
There we go. There we go.
My mom.
Put
did-
that
and
on
my-
late night.
My mom called me that.
Yeah,
yesterday.
Mimi needs to know. I can promise you, when your grandma gives you your PJs, problem.
Okay.
Red flag. We're up to
Red
20,
flag.
27 viewers. Thank you for tuning
Hey,
in. Facebook.
Thank
yeah,
y'all
tune
for
in and
tuning
put
Sherry
that on
DeJohnny
there.
Keep 'em
said,
coming,
"Get him,
keep 'em
Angie.
coming."
Get him."
What I'm telling you is
So-
when your mama brings you pajamas, it ain't what
Okay.
daddy's looking for.
Okay,
Can I get a
okay. 2 things about the pajamas. Number 1 is, yes,
Okay.
my mom gave them to me. She did call me and she said, "Oh, honey." She goes, "I guess next time I'll have to buy you sexy pajamas."
Amen, Mimi.
What a weird mom
I know
conversation.
that's so
No,
weird, but my
Nora
mom,
tells me
she
one
loves
day.
her son-in-law and she
Yeah,
loves her
that's
daughter.
right.
So, but I will
Amen,
say this
Mimi.
too: the other thing about
Pepsi's
Holly
for
Hobby
you. Silver
is
bullet.
that your daughter loves those PJs. She thinks they look like free people.
Give them to her. Hey, I ain't got no problem with them. She can bust them things
Okay.
out. You know what? They're so conservative. Give them to her. She can go out in them things. She can put that on and go on to town. I ain't even gonna
Little
be
House on
mad.
the
Okay.
Prairie.
I'm
Okay.
talking about looks like, man.
So you have not seen those again since you
And I got to
said,
give you 100%
because
credit
you
on
and
that. Come on.
Jason Montgomery said
Fist bump on that. Thank you for hiding Holly Hobby.
you told your
Well-
friend that I wore Holly Hobby, and then he said, "You know what? I've been trying to find you a bonnet, Angie, to wear with that Holly Hobby."
Bonnet.
And I said, "Well, my kids were like, who's Holly Hobby?" So the younger crowd's like,
I had
"Who's
to look
Holly
it up.
Hobby?"
That's
But you
why I
didn't-
put her up.
No,
That's why I
I
put her
mean,
on
y'all
the
don't
screen.
even know. That's
I've
so
seen one
sad.
before. Didn't know that was the name, but
It
I've
was
seen
back
it
in the
before.
day. The only reason I did, it's our generation, okay? So, but I knew
Uh-huh.
that Holly Hobby was going to really epitomize what that conservative outfit was. Because when Mimi gave it to you and you brought it home, and you were so proud and so
They were
happy.
cute. I love PJs.
And I said, "What are you wearing?"
Yeah,
like
he
because
did.
she usually don't wear Holly Hobby, okay?
Yeah.
Usually Holly's, I mean, that's somewhere else. And then she wore them every. I mean, I don't even think those things got washed.
Oh,
I mean, it
yes,
was like
they
you
did.
see them every night. I'd be like, man, I said, you got to
You
give
are
Holly a
such
rest.
an exaggerator.
I
Okay,
see.
so
Okay, go ahead.
but just so you know,
Yeah, I
because
know.
I love you
Oh goodness,
and because I listen to you,
communication.
That's a key. Major
I got
key.
a little picture for you.
We got something
Oh.
breaking. If you're tuning in
This
live,
is what I'm talking about. We got pictures.
we got photo evidence. Angie sent
Photo
in
evidence.
pre-podcast,
Okay, let's see.
and I said, "Is that a towel warmer?" And of course, now it's loading. It's not showing
Okay,
up.
so
it's
just
coming.
a little spinning. This is real time.
Well, you
know
mean
it's
I got
real.
something to look forward to?
The PJs are in the trash can.
PJs in
on!
the trash.
Hey!
Holly Hobby.
Hey!
He's gone. He said, I'm not giving them to
PJs
Hannah.
in the trash.
Throwing them
R.I.P.
away.
Okay, now hold on.
And
Can
I
I
just-
add in right here something? Because this is something for all the men too. Okay. Now I want you to confirm or deny what I'm about to say.
Yes.
Okay. So we had a little Holly Hobby run in. Okay.
Yes.
And we was off track. Mm-hmm. And what did Big Papa do?
Big Papa brought me home some new PJs.
I went shopping. I went and bought some stuff. And
Yeah.
were they cute and were they
they're
stylish? And
super
did you
cute.
like them?
Yes, and ironically, the same
Bingo!
day that he brought me home pajamas, I had bought a pair for myself too.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Look at here. Now
Communication.
we getting somewhere.
So we
Communication.
communicated.
advice.
Even if it's through the stage.
Yes, right.
In a podcast.
Yeah, really. It only took full public knowledge for us to do it.
No, the truth is we were working on that before it got
But
to
we
the
were.
message. That's
'Cause
what I'm
Chrissy
trying to
and
say.
Jason were the only ones that really knew.
But we are open book. We trying to help people.
So I have a
Amen.
question, Angie, because
Okay.
I think people have asked this before when I speak. How much do you know what's going in the message ahead of time on a week-to-week basis? Are you surprised most Sundays, or do you feel like you know and have a good idea?
That's a good question.
Pretty much surprised.
Because I get the notes on Thursday, and I
Yeah,
see
you
what
do.
you're
Hey,
saying
now,
sometimes.
Hold on. I typically know the topic. You had your time. 3 services
I
yesterday.
know it. I'm just trying to say, if it's something serious, though, I usually do tell you.
Yes, but if it's a picture of Holly Hobby and a moo-moo with my name attached, I had no idea.
Because it's going to get revolted.
So do
That's
you
just
see-
why I want Justin After Dark.
I just want-
Whenever I try to bring things out, everybody shuts me down. I'm saying we need to keep this thing real.
Patreon coming soon.
That's it, son. We ain't
Subscribe.
doing all that.
Scott Whitecotton's here for this foolishness.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. We trying to learn and help one another and educate.
Okay.
Okay.
So there you
Wow.
go. They're in the trash.
Trash can.
Hey,
Breaking
come on,
news.
y'all.
Trash
Get that
can.
far.
Thank
Come
you.
on. All for
R.I.P.
all merit.
Holly
Thank
Hobby.
y'all. Thank y'all.
I feel like Hannah should go fish him out of the trash.
She might. All right, so now,
Okay, what else?
so you got all your words out on that. I know there's more.
Those were my main entry points.
Yes, and I'm very thankful because what I'll brag on Angie, seriously, and I can't go into all the details because some of it I don't share. But it is
Thank
not
God.
always. It is not always. I want to go on After Dark. We want to talk it all. I want to go on it like.
When I was getting ready
Yeah.
to come in here today, I was a little nervous.
Here
I'm
we
not
go.
gonna lie.
What did she
She
say
brought
last?
reinforcements.
Last week she said she prayed coming in, and I said I didn't.
And I prayed today coming in again.
And I did.
Thank God for a
But I
praying
was
woman.
burying somebody. We were out there doing funerals today. All right, so
Oh.
look, here's the deal, though. What I love about you is we have a good time. We cut up about it. But honestly, over 27 years of marriage, she really does a great job of taking care of herself, presenting whatever outfits. She cares about her appearance. She's always looking just whoop, 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 yeah, yeah. So I say
Till
that.
Holly comes out.
But only what happens is my and the point that I was bringing up that is really for humor and for fun, but it is a little truth to it. And me and Jason were talking about this. We went to dinner one night, and what happens is the longer you're married, and men got things we're bad on too.
Sure.
But we're talking about this is man talk too. Okay. That's a high value because we're visual. Not everybody. Josh said he loves the moo moo. We'll get into that in a
we'll get
minute.
into that
It's
too.
the visual still.
Okay.
We'll get to it.
Yeah,
We'll get
I don't
to it.
really
Okay.
understand
Keep
that.
going,
But
keep
anyway, so what happens is over 27 years, you get comfortable, everything goes. It's the same way. Men get fat, whatever. We all get it. But all I'm saying is every once in a while, I agreed with Jason, just flip that intimate drawer. Let the stuff that's on the bottom
Oh my
come
gosh.
to the top.
When he said that to us that night, at
We
dinner,
laughed.
I
That was the
thought
best wisdom that I had
because
gotten
it
from
really
somebody.
is true. You start with your newlywed stuff here,
Yeah, and it's deep.
early marriage here,
It's down in the
and
bottom
then
of the
like,
drawer.
and it legit is at the bottom of the drawer. Like it could not have been truer what he said. And I was like, dang, that
Yeah.
kind of stings a
So
little
I
bit.
think why it's funny is we're talking about what we're going through, and we're doing with other couples, and
yeah,
we're
because they
laughing.
know.
And cutting up.
I got texts too today.
So then, as it goes on, my favorite text I've gotten in, and I won't use the words that were sent in,
Yeah.
but somebody said to me, because everybody's stirred up about it, like they're talking about it.
Got some
they're
buzz.
Yeah, they're going, and one of them said, "Man, I can just say this for sure. I didn't know that I would come to church and I would have relations afterwards. Thank you, Justin." And I said, "Amen."
It's
if
working.
one guy,
It's working.
If one guy had
Yeah.
relations with his wife, man, I feel like a winner. Okay,
Yeah.
because some Sundays nobody says a
Worship
word. I mean, it never.
continued.
They don't ever walk
I
out
don't
there and
think
be
that
like,
line's on the Andy Stanley podcast.
"Yeah, no,
Like Craig Rochelle
I
talking
want
about
Andy
this.
over here and Craig. I talk to him. We'll bring them all. Because if we're gonna keep it real, That's the
would,
truth.
they
Keeping
would
it
keep
real.
it real,
Sean
too.
Prudier watching says hello, and then Sherry's still watching said, we're going to do moo-moos for missions and give them all away.
Moo-moos for
All right, hold on. You know what's funny?
You don't even want to give away mine. They were so tore up.
Hold on. Now, this could go viral right here, too, because I'm going to bring up something else, because you brought him up. Okay, so Andy Stanley, this is good wisdom right here, and I haven't thought about this in a long time. Me and Angie were newly married. Okay, we weren't married long. I don't remember how long we were married. Maybe a couple of years, maybe a year. I don't even remember.
I
Anyway,
think it was, if you're talking about Andy Stanley?
Yes.
First year.
okay, Open Eyes used to do all of North Point's special events in music. So we did all their camps.
One
we
of the
did,
biggest churches in America.
We did well. Open Eyes. So that's Greg and Daniel and me and Alan. All of us, Chip. All of us. We would do all of their stuff. Andy's a friend. It was really more Kevin Ragsdale because their youth pastor, but we were all friends. We would all hang out. North Point started in a bar when we went to camp. So they didn't start in a bar, their church, but when they went to youth camp, they actually had to be in Destin. We were in a bar. So we would play music in a bar. So we had all these funny talks about all this other stuff. But that's a little bit of my roots.
That was the
kinda,
90s, huh?
Yeah, it was the 90s. I don't
Well,
remember
no,
exactly.
we were married in 98.
Yeah, so it was still the 90s, 98, 99, something like
Yeah.
that. So anyway, so this is what's funny. Me and Angie, because she gets into the church now, okay, she's insecure about being in the church because there's all these. You think about 90s, we joke about the way we dressed back then. We look at our outfits, we were so conservative in every respect of everything. Looked like we were missionaries.
Uh-huh.
I mean, buttoned all
I
the
didn't
way
know
up.
how to dress. I
Didn't-
went from the clubs in like a.
And
in
I
like
was wanting
little
that
mini-
woman back in the church,
in
Mama.
little mini skirts. So I
Hey!
got saved and I'm in the
You know what?
church.
You feel me down there, DK? I'm talking about.
I didn't know what to wear anymore.
Well, I know.
So I got confused and just started like covering everything up as much as possible.
Yeah, and that was a problem for Big Papa. But anyway, what I'm telling you is, okay, so we're going back.
Okay,
We're
so
at-
go
we're at-
back.
we're at-
you
in-
have your point was about
We're at camp, and we're doing Andy speaking. We do the music and all this other stuff, whatever. But it was early in our marriage, and if you don't have anybody to look up to, and you don't have anything to understand,
Yeah.
in the church world, it was very, man, just weird.
Conservative, strict.
It was just
Yeah.
weird. It was just, even the way they interacted with husband and wife was sometimes weird. So we'd gone out to dinner with Andy and them a couple of times, and and I remember. You remember what I'm going for?
100%. It was transformational.
All right,
for
so
us.
you tell it then.
Okay, so as we were newly married, we just kind of watched them as a pastor and wife. We hadn't been around that many pastors and wives before, but we'd seen some.
And they were younger.
But they were, so they're like 10, 15 years older than us. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, one thing that we really noticed is that Andy was always very affectionate with his wife. He would put his arm around her. He kind of put his arm around her waist. And that was the first time we had seen that before, like just publicly in front of everybody. And we were like, that made a huge difference because for me, physical touch is one of my love languages. And that's one of the things I was going to
Amen.
talk about today if we get to
Amen.
that. But
Me
so
too.
for him to put his arm around me in church or to like grab her on my waist, it's like a way for him to show his love. And then when he does it publicly, it's like we're together.
And so what I was telling you is Andy was the first one, and we went to dinner. I was just like, and he was like, no, you.
He learned it as well.
And he learned it as well. And I say that because why it's good to be open and talk about all this. I actually don't do it enough, which is funny, and I alluded to it in the message. Student ministry, we were way more open. All of a sudden,
I was there for some of
get
those
into
messages.
adulthood, and it's like you ain't supposed to talk about it, and that's when you can do it. I mean, that don't make no sense.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is like you have to create a culture where it is discussed, it is celebrated within the healthy boundaries of what
Yeah.
Jesus talked about, and attraction is normal. So if you are not attracted, something's wrong.
Yeah.
So we tell our kids that all the time. I mean,
my
they joke
gosh.
about it, but we always tell them,
I
like,
looked
look,
at my kids and said, if you don't want to, I'm not saying it. I just said, if
come
you don't
on,
want
mama,
Say it.
let's go after dark.
I've told my girls before, like, you want to kiss the person that you're
Amen.
going out with. Like,
And-
if you don't want to kiss them,
Then what's
then
Then what
you're
you
not
doing?
attracted to them.
because the truth is, the longer you're together, which we're at 27 years,
Yeah.
all of that is not near as important, but it's still important. Like I'm
Yeah.
attracted to her just as much today as I was all
Yeah.
those years ago. I joke about it. It's just horrible, but I'll admit it. What really attracted me is her jeans. I'll never forget them jeans. Them
That is
jeans
so
are burnt
bad.
in this mind. That microwave window
That's
I'm
at
looking
the
through.
Southern
Boop, boop, boop,
Baptist
boop, boop,
Church,
boop.
too, Justin.
Man, I'm a
Shame on
sinner.
you.
I'm a sinner. Boop, 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 boop. I was
I
ready.
had no
son.
idea that he was looking.
Listen, window, microwave. Boop, boop. I was ready. The reason I'm telling you, I also did get married till I was late.
I know.
I mean, like almost 30
You
years
waited a long
old.
time.
Okay, so I'm not going to go into all that. I'm just
Yeah, that's
saying
long.
that it is important that attraction stays in a marriage and it is celebrated and it is healthy, and you figure out your path. You figure out if it's a moo-moo, do you, son. That's what I'm talking about. For me, it's Wonder Woman. Y'all feel me? Give me the ding, blong, ding, ding, ding. Give me them bracelets, son. I mean, I'm all about that.
That was the sound effect of the bracelets.
Yeah, that was when them bullets were coming off. Dude K knew he'll put that in there. Boom, ding, ding, boom. And put that lasso of truth. Talk to me, mama. So why am I telling you this?
Great question.
Because it
Lord
needs to
Jesus.
be discussed in an open
Yes, it's
format.
healthy.
And all of this, whatever you're trying to do, dude, the same dude's on that stage, same dude here, the same dude there.
Yes.
You have to be honest and go, and I'm trying to be Christian and trying to dial it back a little bit so I don't get in trouble. But what I am saying is, it has to be celebrated in the context of the church, too.
Amen.
And our kids need to understand that it
Yeah.
is healthy to have boundaries and an attraction.
Yes.
Now, as much as
Boundaries is important,
Yes.
but attraction is
but
got to be attractive.
like with Emma and them, she was saying all that. She can talk. It's embarrassing because she's talking about it with her friends because someone's saying to her, everything we've talked about on that stage has been talked about in our house.
Oh, 100%. We're
There
very open.
is nothing that was said up there that she ain't heard at the house. But what happens is, it is where I didn't warn them. I didn't think because we talk about it.
Yeah.
We're not one of them families like, oh, we don't talk about that. I mean, no, man. It's like we keeping it real because that's what it is.
Let me
Way
just
in
let
our
me
house.
just make this one caveat.
Yeah.
When it was age appropriate for us to tell our children things about our past or about
Being married
sexual
before.
things,
So
then,
roughly,
then we did.
when was that?
For us, I mean, really, they were more like in high school before I
Okay.
talked about my past. I mean,
Sure.
of course, they knew that I had been married before and blah, 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 growing up. I didn't want to shock them with that when they were grown. I mean, we always kind of talked about that openness. But when it got to like talk about, I think the kids have to be mature enough to even kind of understand what sex is before you kind of
Yeah,
go
why
in a
you
deeper
gonna
talk.
pause, Mama?
Well, I was
They's
trying to think of
adults.
how I was going to say that
If a
word.
kid's on this, he getting
But
a real
they were
show.
high school.
Right.
I think they were high school. I knew that they were mature enough to hear from it.
We
How'd
talk-
you do that? You're like, hey, happy 15th birthday. We're going to talk about all
No,
this.
let's talk
No,
about
no.
sex, baby.
I'm making it.
No, it was just always
A
it was
joke.
it came at a natural way. And like I think I told Hannah things a little sooner than the other. She's the oldest. I just remember opening it up to her one day and telling her some things. And then maybe a year or so later, I told the next one. It was just sort of just in a comforting way. And the cool thing is too, like in our relationship with our growing kids, is that then they go, oh, it's okay. We all have made mistakes, and it's okay to be open with our parents, and then it gives them the opportunity, when time permits, for them to maybe open up and share some things.
Okay, no, the reason I'm saying it, okay, so yesterday, or whatever day it was it yesterday? It was Genesis. It was like they were naked and not ashamed. Our house was never ashamed. So, like, we didn't walk around worried about, like, oh my gosh, it's like, obviously it's appropriate, but we were free in the fact that
Yeah.
there's nothing to be ashamed of in the way God made you.
Yeah.
There are boundaries in place to protect you. God loves you. You can trust him. Do what he tells you to do.
That's a callback.
If
Exactly.
not, there's a consequence for it. And we told them about consequences in both of our lives
Yes.
so that they understood that those boundaries were in place. But at the same time, when we grew up, you were in trouble for that. It was oppressive.
Oppressive. That's
It was
the right
like, so
word.
I'm going like, man, no, dude, there's freedom in this, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you can have the good. The problem is you don't get it now. You need to be waiting when it is, because there is ultimate freedom, and you
Yeah.
do not have to be ashamed of what those things are, which goes back to communication.
Yeah.
So, like in our house, yes, there's weaknesses. Yes, I mess things up just like Angie does, whatever. But our house is an open house of communication.
Yeah.
So when we're sitting down, nothing we're talking about on there hadn't been discussed at home.
100%.
And even more, that is not appropriate for this thing. So if
Yeah.
there's things going on, I'm just being honest. Like,
I
if
I looked at him and like,
no,
okay,
but
we're
if
like,
there are, I wouldn't do that. I'm just saying, if there's kids and things going on, you walk through all that. You don't. I just don't have to say. You got, man. Look, let anything come to me with anything.
Yeah.
I will answer anything you want to answer. We will talk about it, but also by my personality, which is wide open. I will bring that up even when it wasn't. And now they're bringing it wide open. So
Yeah.
why? The leadership sets the tone. If you don't, if you go in and it's just like, we don't talk about that here. That's not how we are. What I'm like, man, what y'all
the
tripping
whole
on?
world's going to be talking about it. So you
Yeah,
better
so you
talk
might as
about
well create
Sooner
a
than you
culture
think.
where it's like,
it. Way sooner than you.
Yes.
Now, I have friends that teach elementary school now.
all right, so look,
it's
we ain't
fair.
going
Two
into
elementary
that's back,
schoolers.
okay. That's going back to parenting. I'm coming back to marriage,
Yes.
but the only
Okay.
I'm saying we went down the road of kids.
Yes.
But I'm going back to all these married people.
Okay.
I had an older couple today at the funeral. Okay, they're senior citizens. They came up and said, Thank God you said all that, because we didn't grow up hearing that.
Yeah.
And they were like, I am so grateful that you were able to. And I'm like, it ain't that big a deal. But I forget that, like in student ministry, when we were coming up, I would talk a lot about it, but I don't always think about
Right.
sharing all of that as much. Now, all of that I shared was what I do in pre-marriage, and I said that, and in marriage counseling. But there's so much more to that. That was as fast as I could go.
Sure.
And I'm sitting there going like, man, I am running over all these other important things.
Yeah.
But the one thing I didn't get to get into was that it is a system. Okay, so let me get this, and then you can see if it spurs anything in anybody's mind. God is a systems God. Everything he creates is based on systems. Solar system, ecosystem, the body, human, whether that's skeletal, respiratory, whatever. All that he does is based on a system. In the same way, a relationship is a system. A husband and a wife is a system. A family is a system. There are roles and there are things. So when things get messed up, it begins to get unhealthy. If it's in the ecosystem, you go, man, the alligators are eating everything and it's messed up, or there's too many deer and you run into the middle on the street. Okay?
Right.
Well, if it's whatever, if it's in the human body and you're eating too much like me, you get a little chunky or whatever, there's some consequences for that. Or if there's whatever, cancer makes a system that where you go, man, I've got a cancer and it's eating up my body, whatever. Well, the problem is communication, finances, and sex are the system. It's just part of what happens. So when one of those is wrong, the system gets out of whack. So if you don't really have good communication, and most of the reason people don't have good communication is because they have jobs. Jobs are required in our modern world. I tell this in pre-marriage every time. Most people are not independently wealthy. They have to work. So when you work, DK works late night, horseshoe, whatever, me, I'm out chaplain, whatever it is, Angie's do good. You give all your energy, y'all are out you're selling houses. Courtney comes out of school, you come home, all of a sudden you've given everybody else everything. So now you don't have anything to give each other, so your communication gets to break down. It's not because you're bad people. You're trying to make a living. So if you're trying to make a living and then all of a sudden the financial component dictated no communication, which then turns around to we don't have sex. So it's like this vicious cycle that keeps going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. So then I don't know how we got here. We just don't talk as much. We just don't connect as much. And a lot of people get there. And so I always say it's like, look at the systems and remember that it's two individuals. The individuals have to look at their own health. I can't make her healthy and she can't make me healthy. So I have to go back and go, look, that's why I go on my long walks to get some stress relief out. I try to. I don't always do it right, but I try to talk. We cut up, we talk, but there's sometimes she's like, I ain't in it, I'm tired. So then there's sometimes I'm not in it, I'm tired. So you have to go, well, we'll catch up the next day or whatever.
Or one person's a verbal processor.
Yes.
You need to get all your words out. I'm an internal processor. I got to think about it for a minute. It may take me a day or so before I get it right in my head. But then I can come back and talk to you. But then you have to have the patience to go, okay, I'll wait.
And it's not always negative. I'm not talking about just like when you're in trouble. I'm talking about just daily communication.
Yes.
Like you work for a living. It's not like you're in trouble. It's like, dude, I'm just tired.
Yeah.
So then if you come back and there's no margin in your life to be able to have a conversation and your own TikTok and we're both horrible. The reason I put TikTok
Guilty.
in the verse, guilty.
You know who
Yeah.
started TikTok today? Brian Reed.
Oh, he'll never be the same.
He
Sorry,
won't.
Perry.
It's such
Sorry,
anybody
Perry.
that I know now that don't have it yet, I'm like, don't do it.
Don't
It can
do
be
It
any-
sucks your
it's-
wole life
It's
away.
Instagram. It's Facebook.
Well, I know some
It's
just
the
have,
same.
That's
What
what
I-
I say. I'm like, but the algorithm on TikTok.
No,
my
but here's
God,
what I'm.
sucks your life
But here's
away.
what I'm telling you. Dump technology.
Yeah, 100%.
So what we did early on, and we're not doing well right now, is there's no boundaries. So what we used to say this, and now we're horrible.
Oh gosh, I could say one thing real
Go ahead.
quick in that vein that you're going through. When we first got married, we said we're not gonna have a TV in our bedroom.
We didn't put a TV in our room.
Yep.
You know what that meant? Bow chicka bow wow.
We
Uh-huh.
don't right now.
Okay,
There
You
you go.
keep
put,
it.
amen. That
Go
moo
ahead.
moo and turn that TV off, cuz.
Amen.
Josh said he loves the moo moo.
You see how many kids he got?
Move.
You feel
move.
me?
So we said we're no TV in the bedroom. Slowly, the TV got into the bedroom. Okay, so now we've been married 27 years.
I'm just kidding.
now it's not. The TV's on and TikTok same time.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like,
Guilty.
so why I'm preaching that, and I said it in the message, not everybody listens. It's us.
Yeah.
We're not experts. We're
Yeah.
telling you what to do wrong, and I'm also telling you, That's something we really got to work on.
Yes,
That's
it comes to prioritizing. You have to prioritize that system.
And so
to make
then
it work.
sometimes I'll get annoyed at her. Sometimes she gets annoyed at me.
Yeah.
And then you got to figure out how to communicate. Like, hey, can we turn that off?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, can we? And depending on if you're in the right mood to receive that or not, that don't go well.
Yeah.
You're on your phone, dude. I don't know who that would be. That was
Goodness
Doesn't sound like
gracious.
that was an illustration
Yeah,
out
it's
there.
certainly,
hypothetical.
It
That was
certainly
a
wasn't
hype-
me, was it?
That was a hypothetical.
Nobody's
There's
ever
a
heard
person
that
out
inflection
there.
in my voice.
Yes. And reverse. It's like, well, you're on your. Then the next thing you know, you ain't going nowhere, and
Yeah.
you ain't getting lucky that night because now you're mad.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is you have to communicate. You have to set up your boundaries, and you got to figure that out. And
Yeah.
we're still 27 years in, and that changes. Age, time,
Yes.
kids. It's a
Yes.
never-ending adjustment.
Yes, I, that's one thing that I did put in my little notes today is that those things all change with each stage and
Yes.
season in your marriage.
Yes.
So we're in a new season in our marriage. Like my first thought was when you first get married, it's on.
Like a chicken
You know,
bone.
it's
son.
like you're just in heat with each other,
Amen.
right? And then you have babies, and then you get exhausted.
changes
I remember being home because we had
everything. Can she cry? You remember that Christmas special?
Thank you.
That was not just a Christmas
That was
special.
that
That's
was just a
reality.
bonus for
Yes.
all of our listeners.
Absolutely.
I'm
Okay,
just
so
giving you extra.
so we had 3 kids in 4 years.
Yep.
I was exhausted. I remember when nobody could turn a light on for themselves. Nobody could open the refrigerator and
include you?
get a snack, except for you. You're at work.
All right.
Nobody could make a snack. It was a mama. And then I remember when I finally get all 3 of those babies put in bed at night and get in bed. I didn't want.
Hey, you know what
honestly,
happens?
I did not
That
want him
hand
to
starts
touch
creeping.
me.
I'm like,
I just wanted
"Hi."
to be still. Just.
Yeah.
Don't
and I
anybody
did not
touch me.
want to be still.
So that was a new season that we have to work through.
But
Okay.
so hold on, let's talk about that for a minute because that's a stage where everybody's at or whatever.
Yes.
So what I tell them in pre-marriage and in marriage counseling, and Angie was good at this. She don't really want to talk about it because she likes picking. We pick a lot.
Yeah.
But the truth was, if I didn't communicate my need, she would have never made an adjustment. So if I sat in my bitterness
Yeah.
and I sat in my frustration of, dude, I am a young male that would love to make love to my wife and not be looking at pornography and not be looking at another woman because everybody wants to crucify everybody for pornography and looking at other women and all. If you have your needs met at the house, I can tell you, you ain't worried about looking at nothing else. You can call it what you want, but that's a fact. And then if you still got a problem, go see somebody and talk it out. Because part of the problem is you don't really have communication to go, I love you.
Yes.
You're the only one for me. My eyes are free. That's why the scriptures are so powerful
Yeah.
to me this past week. Some of those were new to me. You are the only water I want to drink. My love comes out that well. So if I never tell her that,
Yes.
then all of a sudden she's just frustrated. I'm tired. You never care about me. So the reverse is if she goes, man, I'm really doing all this, and then I can feed the kids, I can do the homework for the kids, and I can say, hey, baby, go take a bath. Why don't you let Calgon take you away from it? That's old school people. Let Calgon
They don't
take
even
you
know that
away. No,
anymore.
they don't know. It's like Holly Hobby. Let Calgon take you away. I got the kids for a minute. But if she don't tell me
Yeah.
and I don't tell her, communication,
Same, it goes
your
into
sex
each-
life
each
is
place.
done.
Yeah.
So this is why it's like you have to go back and go, and not in trouble, not mad, like, man, I really want you, honey.
Yeah.
I am desiring you. And again, I'm 50-something now. How old will I be next
I don't
week or
even
2
know.
weeks?
I forgot.
56. Something like it's
I
not
think
the
you're
same as it was when
almost
I was in my
56.
20s. In my 20s?
Yeah.
My 30s?
Okay.
Good Lord. I was way more elevated in the desire, my drive, my physiological body was different than 57.
Okay.
But it still ain't gone. Okay,
Yeah.
I ain't dead. So what I'm telling you is it may have changed, but the communication still has to happen.
And
What I
it's-
love about Angie and what she has done is when I would communicate that, she would never make me feel bad about it. And I would try not to make her feel bad about it, but sometimes she would beat herself up like, I'm sorry, honey, I just got so bit. Honey, it's okay. Let's talk that out. And then what I said Sunday is still true. If I took her on a date, if I get her out of town, if I turn off technology, then it's amazing how you connect. If I get to a hotel, everything changes, but no one does it. They just get frustrated. They stop talking about it,
Put
and
the
then-
they
kids
blame the
first.
other person.
Yeah, and then you
the
get
next
mad
thing-
at each other.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all done it.
We have. And that's why I'm saying that where I really admire her is even in like Wonder Woman and whatever else it is, if I communicate to her what it is, Angie really does go, I know that's a value to you. And the reverse would be true to me. If
Yes.
she told me, hey, I really need help with this, I'm going to die trying
Yeah.
to do it because we're in it together. And I know when she wins, I win. And if I win, she wins.
Yes.
And you got to figure that out. When you're young, you don't know that all
And
the
that
time.
sometimes it's just sacrificing for each other.
And that's the Jesus principle I didn't get to.
So if you're tuning
Yeah.
in, you're coming. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us. Your new people keep coming in. Tim Carmack, Charles watching. You can go watch the whole message from yesterday. But I think one of the best things you said was it was talk daily, date weekly, retreat quarterly. Is that
Yep.
right?
And
Mhm.
dump
If you
technology.
can do
And dump
that,
technology.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just under communication. So I will also say, if you're struggling, if you're not doing it, get help from an outside source. I can give you those 4 things, but if you don't go get counseling for someone to even unpack it more, in my computer there's probably 500 documents on communication. So if I read a book, I dumb it down to a handout. The reason I did that starting years ago is because men won't read a book. All these women come back and go, oh my God, did you read this book? And the man's like, I ain't reading no book. Now, if they get desperate enough or they getting divorced, they'll read a book. But most of the time,
Hopefully
it's
they
like,
come to that. Right.
Everybody likes a bullet point.
So when I go, hey, man, this is that communication book. And all of that stuff, dialoguing daily and departing quarterly, and that's all somewhere I read. I didn't make it all up. Somewhere I pulled all these pieces together to go, that's a key component to communication. Why that's so important is most people aren't thinking about anything we just said. They're mad.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a plan. It's just I'm mad. You didn't do what you're supposed to do. I'm mad.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's made us unique and different, it's not fair to everybody else. We made a choice financially.
Mm-hmm.
This is a big deal. Angie did not work. Okay? That is not the way. It is a way. But when we first got together,
Yeah.
Open House was busy. We were playing all the time. I was working at the church. We had all these conferences and music we were playing everywhere. And Angie was like, she has 2 degrees. She's way smarter than me. A degree in biology, a degree in Spanish, went to Centenary College, and I went to LSU. Took me 10 years. We all know the story. I've said it 1,000 times. She's smart. But she chose not to go down the road of pursuing an education. Pursuing a job because she said, I've always wanted a family, and that's the choice we're going to make. So we were broke.
Yeah.
And we still are to a degree.
Yeah.
Everything's in levels because hopefully I'm not where I was 30 years ago. I make more money, but still I have 3 kids in college, insurance on all those cars, so I'm still broke. You ain't getting rich. You start having kids, it's like it goes on.
So everybody,
Amen.
But
we
back
talked
then,
about that last week.
we lived in a 900 square foot house in ghetto used cars. I sold every car I had to get her a new car.
Yeah, that was sweet.
But why? Because we had a baby coming on the way. And we made those financial sacrifices so that she wouldn't have to work and she could raise those babies. That ain't the way. I'm not telling you that's what
No,
everybody's got
it's
to
just-
do. But
just what
that
we
was a
decided
big
to do.
deal for us because that financial decision we communicated about.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want in your life, honey? What do you want it to look like? What would you like to do with your life? If she wanted to work, I'd say go knock it out. Right now, she works harder and do good than she ever would have done in a job. So she is working, but when she was raising kids, that was the priority. And then I was going mission trips and launching a church and student ministry. So I was busting it. And then she would have to communicate, hey, I need you here this weekend. I'm tired. Don't book anything this weekend. Okay. We would try. But it is a communication tool that goes back to financial decisions, which then turn around to a healthy sex life.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, I will say just a couple of things
I
about
want to go
sex
to the
real
Jesus
quick.
point eventually because I didn't cover it Sunday, but go ahead.
Okay. One of the things I want to say, because for women who are listening, and you know, if you've lived a few years like me, so it changes, like we were just talking about your newborns, you're tired, you got to schedule. I do have a friend, well, more than one friend actually, that they would schedule sex.
I've
She was
heard it.
like, okay, I just know in my mind on Wednesdays or Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're going to have sex. Because in her mind, if
you mean
she
they
knew,
got it twice a week?
well,
Amen.
I'm just saying.
I thought we was going to go ahead. Put that on that schedule.
These are when their kids were younger. But anyway, I'm just saying they scheduled it. Now, I know that seems like it takes the spontaneity and the kind
Kind
of
of
the.
does. Can.
I know you don't really like that, but it actually helped them to continue
It is.
because they had a plan.
You got to do. And I'm picking. I think you got to do
Yes.
whatever you got to
Okay,
do.
so that-
it don't make no difference.
That's
to me.
one thing. And I will say this is kind of a different thought, but if someone has something in their past that is hindering them sexually with their husband,
Okay.
counseling is key.
Yes.
So counseling, maybe on that side. Then we move into the next season is where we are now. Like when you start going through, we're going to use that word again like we did last week, perimenopause and menopause, things change again.
And
you were
you
talking
got to
about,
communicate, which
you
you
have to
have done a great
communicate,
job
yes.
telling me.
So, and at that point, you're physiologically, like you were just talking about, things begin to change. Your libido goes down because your hormones are tanking. So there are things that you can do as well. I know that just because of where I am in my life, there's things that a doctor can help you with.
Okay, so the reason I brag on Angie on this, no one really in the generations prior to us would talk about this. So while we're telling y'all, it's like I've told other guys in counseling, in the privacy of counseling, I air a lot more. Here we're keeping it as real as we can keep.
Mm-hmm.
But I am bragging on her because she would say, I'd be like, hey, honey, like, what's going on? And she would have to tell me, something ain't right. Where I give her the credit, she went to counseling, did it. Went to see physical doctors, like, her regular health doctor, went to girl doctors, went to everything to go, I'm going to figure out what's going on, and took whatever she had to take, prescribed, figuring out what was going on with doctors, getting their advice. And then she was telling me in the journey what was going on so that I could be empathetic. I could have empathy. I could understand. Now, do I
Because
fully
it wasn't
understand?
that I just didn't want him anymore. I
Right.
still love him and I still want him. But
Of course.
your body goes through, like I said, your hormones tank. And so you naturally, things change. And so you have to figure it out. And some people like to take hormone replacement, which I'm a very big proponent, but some people don't. So there's ways that you're going to have to communicate with your partner to deal with the changes.
Goes back to healthy individual, a healthy system. Then the kids can be healthy because they see a mom and dad that understand that, and you're not bitter and you're not communicating about that. So I was going back to when it wasn't physiological as far as chemical changes in her life, the nap was key. I'd be like, honey, get a nap.
Oh, yeah.
I'd say, honey, get a nap, and we're gonna hook up tonight. It's all good.
Yeah.
Just take you a nap.
Yeah,
I got the kids. They're gonna do
you
whatever's
take a
gonna go
nap.
on. You go take a nap. Why? Because you're
Nothing like a power nap.
communicating about what the desire is. We joke about the sex light. That's what Emma picked with me the most about. She was like, "You mean to tell me that light and that Brayburn?" How I said, "You dang straight, girl."
Hold on.
I said, "You dang straight." When that light came on, let the party begin, son. I wish I had a strobe in that mug.
I know. We don't have that light anymore. It was good.
I rolled back to the student area after the 11 o'clock
Oh,
service,
say
and I saw Emma over there. I was
Yeah.
like,
You did.
so was that light? Was that a real thing? She goes, yes.
Okay, so here, and I've said this a lot because this could go on for 2 weeks. Just this one message could be a whole series of systems. But what I'm telling you is the problem is when you're both working, let's take it off of us. You got a late shift and a day shift. A lot of people are in this situation. You're working all the time. You passing like ships in the night. So then if there's no light, if there's no communication, you have no way to rendezvous. So you're like, I didn't know you want to do it. Now, scheduling is one way. What was weird about scheduling to me, it's not bad. I know a lot of people that do it, whatever, but it didn't. It kind of took the fun out of it. Now, I know as a man, I'm ready whenever, anytime. I'm in the microwave, son. Blip, 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 blip. Give me the window. I'm ready to go. Son, bing, it's on. But there is still a time where you're like, man, I didn't know that was happening tonight. This is kind of fun. This is kind of exciting for us. This is a good thing. So cologne, pillows, whatever, all those other ways were serious ways in sex therapy books. That's not me making that stuff up. That is reading books on people struggling with their sexual connection. You don't add pornography. Just for the record,
Just to be clear.
there's a lot of people that think that's okay. The problem is it skews your view of what a
Yes.
normal sexual relationship is.
Yes.
So if you stay going down that road, which a lot of people do, then the next thing you know, man, it's like it's an unrealistic expectation for her to achieve. Most of the time it's men. Now, sometimes it is women as well. And then it's an unrealistic for him to achieve. It's not real. So what you want to try to do is go, God, protect my mind, protect our relationship. Don't let me look at other things outside of that. Help me to understand how to fulfill her. And at 27 years, we're way more sexually fulfilled now than we were in the beginning of our
Yes.
marriage.
That's-
How?
That's communication.
Communication.
And that's something there's a lot of people don't know.
Right.
I think early on in your marriage, you don't really know what you're doing.
I didn't know. I told her I didn't have a clue what was going on.
Yeah.
But I was happy. And then she came back.
But then comes communication
As she
again
communicated,
too.
I'm like, my bad.
Yeah, I
I
think
can
it's
work on
just
that. Watch
yeah.
Daddy work.
Talking about your physical needs
I'm just kidding.
during sex. Let's just be real.
That's what
We're
trying
adults
to do.
here. You do. You got to communicate about it.
Amen,
What you
sister.
like, what you don't like, blah,
Amen.
blah, blah. And that makes your marriage and your
Better.
marriage bed better.
And this is why people didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
It's all of a sudden, it's like we're all grown and the church is going to ignore it. We're going to act like, no, we don't know what's going on. And God created it for you to enjoy within the context of marriage, but yet there's no discussion about it. So then the only thing that, quote, they thought was cool was outside of marriage. And I'm going, no, dude, marriage is where it's at. Because you also have trust. That's the thing that everybody,
Security.
security. Like you have total freedom where you're in the other way. Dude, I remember growing up, dude. I ain't know, you're scared. You're worried that what are they doing? Can you trust them? Is it really good? You going to bring something home? You not going to do something? What are they doing with somebody else? They did it with you. All that stuff. Man, when you're in that and you know what's going on and you have set your boundaries in before and inside of marriage, you're going, dude, we ain't looking at nothing else. This is what we're going to do to figure that out. Then it becomes a normal sexual healthy relationship that you
Yes.
go, man, it gets better and better with time. It's something to look forward to. When y'all are younger, you think you got it now. Keep working at it. You ain't seen nothing yet, cuz.
Yeah.
Believe that.
Wait.
Yes.
That's a fact.
Wow. There you go.
So we've talked a lot about sex, but I
Amen.
would, but without, I don't know how much time we
We're
have.
We got
40
all-
minutes.
It don't matter. We can go an
That's
hour.
plenty.
What
Okay,
we gonna
I just
do?
want to say
Put it on
something that's
another program. Where y'all
important
gotta
in
go?
marriage, and it does have to do with communication, but like words are important.
Yes.
Different people have different love languages, but words are big. That's another one of my love languages. So if he's talking sweet to me, chances are way better for him. If he comes home cranky and doesn't talk sweet,
Hold on. Work
chances are
related.
less.
So then all of a sudden, if I let work get to me, which it does, I'm a human. So there's some days I'm better than others, and some days I'm not. And I'm fixing to get to the Jesus point. So she's right. Like she's best if I'm sweet. Well, sweet. Dude, I ain't got no sweet in me. I'm pissed. I've had a bad day. Something ain't gone right. This didn't go well. Whatever's going to go on. And for men, sex is a release. It is a connection, but it is also a stress reliever where sometimes for women it is stress inducing because you're, am I good enough? Am I sexy enough? And did it work right? And how's it,
Did you like my moo-moo?
Right. So it's two different worlds. So communication, when she tells me, you're a little grouchy.
Yeah, that's how we say it to each other
You know,
now.
and I'm like,
you're being a little grouchy
I'm
today.
sorry, honey, or whatever. Or give me a minute. Let me go for my walk.
Yeah.
So I'm responsible for me to go get my stress relief. It's not her fault or the kid's fault. I need to go walk that off, clear my mind, come in so that I can be in a better place. But that's where communication is the key.
Knowing your love languages. We don't have to go through all that.
Oh, God,
but
no,
those
that's
are
a whole
important.
nother-
But I'm just saying, look into it. It did help me to know how to love you better.
Yes, and we could go into that. That would be communication as far as learning that, because then
Okay.
you could communicate about what is going on. Let me go into the big overriding principle I didn't even touch on Sunday.
Okay.
So hang in there, because this is, to me, the biggest deal. And Angie's better at it than I am, 100%. When I grew up in church, I did not understand when the preacher, priest, whatever would say, like, well, you know, it's about the church is the bride of Christ, and it's about the bride. And they use these marriage illustrations for marriage. I didn't. I mean, I wanted to cuss right there, and I almost did. So thank you,
Thank
Jesus.
you.
I know it's live. Help me.
This is
DK
this
coulda
is why I
saved me.
pray before I come
Yeah,
in here.
okay,
Thank you.
I did, but I'll start. So then, once that happened, I didn't understand it. Later on in life, through all of the marriage counseling, through marrying people, through 27 years, whatever, somewhere in there, it finally clicked. And that is, Jesus came into the world of a have-to system. So when you go back at Jewish law on the Old Testament, everything was have-to. The front half of the Bible was 600, 700 rules in order to earn your way to God. You had to do the everybody knows
Sacrifice animals.
Everybody knows 10 Commandments, but let's go beyond 10 Commandments. They had created another 700 and something. And the point was being that when you did that law, it honored God. One of those that's the most famous is if a woman was caught in adultery. Notice they didn't say men here. This is the Old Testament. This is jacked up. They would pick up rocks and they would do what? They'd stone them, okay?
The man wasn't out there with her.
Man wasn't out there.
He was just as guilty.
Okay, he's just as guilty, but I'm only giving you this as a real scenario. So here's the Old Testament. That law honored God, and you had to do it because that's how it worked out. Jesus, God himself, comes to earth in the New Testament. Ba-boom. Starts breaking laws. Everybody don't talk about this enough. He broke the Jewish law often because he was God. And why was he breaking the law? One example, woman caught in adultery. I don't know if it's John 14, John somewhere in there. Woman's drug into the street. She's half naked. She's been in the bed with another man. All the guys have gathered up, littlest to the youngest. Your boys were watching. They brought their sons to throw rocks. They all get their rocks. This woman's embarrassed. They pick up rocks. Jesus steps in front of her, half naked, guilty, and says, hey, which one of you fools ain't sinned? And he wrote in the sand. Most theologians believe he wrote one of two things. He either wrote the 10 Commandments or he wrote their name and their sin. Evan Semanco, lust, whatever. Justin and Haigler, lying, thieving, whatever. And then you look down and you're like, dang, man, that's my name. Because he asked, who here ain't done something wrong? And then they're like, if you ain't done nothing, throw the rock. Most of them believe he wrote the 10 Commandments because when they saw them all, every one of them knew they hadn't done it. They'd broken one of them. So they drop their rocks and they walk off, okay? He looked out the woman and says, hey, where are your accusers? She can't even look up. Look up at me, honey. She finally looks up and he said, where are your accusers? I don't have any. Neither do I.
Thank you, Jesus.
Neither do I. He broke the law. So when all these people trip on the law, and you get, okay, our Savior said, no, man, forget that. I'm telling you it's relationship. I want you to move from have to want to. And after he defended her, did that lady have to give her life to him? Did she have to follow him? No, she wanted to give him everything. Because he was willing to die for her. So hear me, husbands. He was willing to die for her. So Jesus comes later on, and you start looking out through the New Testament. And he's like, hey, boys, you want to know what this thing's like? You want to know what it's supposed to be like? It is moving from have to want to. And the only way you can move from religion have to into relationship want to, you got to die. You got to die over and over and over and over again. And when you die, it is very attractive. That's why we love our military. That is why we love our firemen, our first responders, our nurses. They're dying to serve us. It's a sacrifice. And so you're like, man, that's my dog. Man, look at what they're doing. The same illustration is right here. So when I come home and I'm grouchy, Angie is dying because she wants to kill me because I'm being a rear end. And she serves me, she loves me, she accepts me. She go, honey, go take a bath, go do what you want to do. But inside, she's wanting to kill me.
It's grace.
It's death. Because in your own grace, but what I'm getting the point back to Jesus, not me. Jesus' point. When she dies that death, it makes her more attractive to me. The reverse is also true. Angie's got whatever she's going on, and I really want it tonight. Oh, God, I want it tonight. I'm so wanted, whatever. Oh, my God, I want it. This is going to be my night or whatever. Angie goes in there, and we're communicating. I'm reading the tea leaves. She got a headache. She's been stressful. Her mom done this. The kids don't, whatever it is. I'm like, hey, honey, not tonight. It's okay. Just take a bath and go to bed. Die. Die. And so when you're dying, then she's like, then what happens the next day? She's like, that was so sweet. Why don't we take? Like, you want to hook up tomorrow night? Click, lights on, you know what I'm saying? Perfume's on. Put it all on Wonder Woman. Whatever it is, it's all happening. Why? Because you're going, I'm moving from have to want to. And the Jesus principle I couldn't talk about on Sunday morning is financial, you die to things you want.
Say that again.
You do. You go, hey, for the betterment of the family, for the betterment of us, I'm not going to get the biggest house or the nicest car because if we have margin, then I'm going to die so that we can do what we need to do for each other. I'm going to die in my words. I'm worded out. She talks about, you're a word processor. You're a word processor. Sometimes you don't want to.
Yeah.
So then I come in, I'm like, hey, honey, how was your day? What was going on with you? Really, I want to go play video games because I want to escape for a little while. Both people, she's better at it than me. And what, in my experience, most women are. That is why the church is full of women servants, you bunch of jackrabbits out there, because men ain't good at dying. It's a fact. So a woman will die to serve and change a diaper. A woman will die and serve and clean up. And men are like, it's about me. It's about me. And that's why most marriages aren't where they need to be. And that's why Jesus in the New Testament was like, men, lead your freaking house. Die. Die for her. Die for the kids. Die for whatever it is. And because when it does, then it makes them go like, man.
Yeah, I'll do anything for him.
Look what that do. And it goes back to those illustrations. And you can't make the point. I mean, it would have been a whole sermon just in itself.
Yeah.
But in this issue, sex, somebody's dying. And I joke about it, but I'm not. And then when you both die, there's a beautiful thing that happens where you're able to get to a place you could not get being selfish. The same in your relationship with God. That's why sex is not dirty. It's not weird. It is a connection between a man and woman given to you by God to show you what ultimate intimacy is. So why do we make it what it is? Because we're jacked up. That's the sin, the fallen world. Communication. Somebody's dying. Right now, Angie would like to talk, and I'm over-talking her. She's dying again, right? But whatever. It's like somebody's having to die. Finances. I was the breadwinner. So sure, she may have wanted to work, but the truth was there was a lot of hard work. I'm out there dying so they don't have to work. And they get the nice house, and they get what they want, the best of my ability. Perfect? No. But that's why I say it's like that death principle applies to the system because the system is based on death. So if you're not good at dying, that's why your marriage stinks.
Selfish.
And selfishness is the most unattractive thing about humans.
It goes both ways. Women withholding sex. It's
And
tough.
that's why your kids, when they learn selfishness, it is not attractive. Let them demand the toy. Let them say, you ain't going to tell me what to do. You go, yeah, you ain't act like, what you tripping on? Because selfishness is unattractive. The reverse is very attractive. When my kids come home and go, Mom, let me load the dishwasher for you. I'm like, there is a God. It's like
The miracle
something-
still happen.
and I always tell them, see the need, meet the need. We had to demonstrate that first. Then they learn it, and then they pick it up, which that is a death principle. Nobody wants to load the dishwasher. Nobody wants to take the trash out. We all wish that would magically happen. Nobody wants to work. I wish I didn't have to work. I wish I was independently wealthy and we could travel the world and go see everything. It ain't happening. But the way to do that, and it goes back to last week, mission trips, service, serving in the church, there's small moments of death that if you learn to do that, it applies to your marriage. It applies to raising your kids because that's the principle of Christianity. And ironically, the church is the opposite. Build big churches because we like them. Don't get in my seat because I don't want you to mess it up. Give me the music I want. He needs to preach what I like. I like that. That is the opposite of following Jesus. And we're in that system. In the same way, you go to church, you come all the way back to a relationship with a husband and wife. If all I'm caring about is me, and I never listen to her, I never meet her needs financially, I'm a gift giver. Most of the time, I try to give her something that she's always wanted. A trip, a car, like when I can afford it. Whatever it was anything, a small little thing. She had her grandmother's thing that hung in her grandmother's bathroom. I went and got it framed and had it all in there and put it on there. And she's like, oh, my God. Why? Because in my way, that is me dying to go like, oh, I love you. I want to show that to you. It's not her love language, but it's what I've learned, and I try to do it. In that same way, that's where it goes back to love language. I'm not good at words. On a stage, yes, but not always giving her what she needs. And I have to die to figure out how to do that because it doesn't come natural because I didn't grow up with it. So if you don't experience, you don't grow up with it, it's not like you go, well, you just need to know that. I'm like, I do know it. I haven't learned that yet.
That's why I encourage them to learn what the love
Sure.
languages are because not everybody grows up with that. Not everybody knows that. It's just a simple
Yeah,
5 love languages.
We'll put a link in the show notes. You can actually take that online. You can go
That's
through and get
good.
the book,
Yeah.
all that stuff. I do it when I do premarital counseling. I think it's great. So
Yeah, I
we're
do
getting up
too.
on an hour. So
Did it in
Angie-
our
Okay.
premarital counseling.
That's right.
Thank
There
you.
you
did.
go. So Angie, let's see if anything you want to say to that, and then we got a question from the audience in here watching.
we like
doing it.
We can just go with a question. I agree with everything you said.
Is there anything that I didn't say about that you can think of? If you think of it, come back to
Okay.
it. All right, what's
All
the
right,
question?
cool. So Charles watching. Tim Carmack says, hey. Christopher Hetrick said, are y'all going to do Backstage with John Deere? Did you talk about John Deere? Maybe we missed that reference.
John Deere is a bass player that's on the stage, so that would be an inside joke.
There we go. I missed that one. That was over my head.
He was a bass player that played with Greg and Daniel in a band called All Access. So he plays for us.
Okay.
He's on Simple Church stage.
John
That's
Deere.
Chris. But anyway, go
There
ahead.
you go. That's right. Cassie Rogers and Lynette watching, but Caitlin said, how do I start building God into my kids' lives? I just had a baby, and I want to have them growing up in the church and following God.
That's good.
You want it, Mama?
I mean,
I'll give you. No, you go and I'll give advice.
Well, I'm just thinking for us, ever since our kids were little, we talked about God. Always had them in church, but tried to live the principles at home. Like it wasn't just something we did on Sunday, Sunday or Sunday morning or whatever. It's just really living those principles, praying with your kids, trying to be a godly example. Just, my relationship with God is number one. My relationship with my husband and how we treat each other is an example for our kids to demonstrate Jesus, just like you were talking about sacrifice.
I think
What else?
all of that is kind of how we look at it too, and sum it up in one word: it's just environment. That godly environment everywhere you go. It's not just the church on Sundays or Wednesdays, which we don't really do. Well, we do life groups, but you know what I'm saying. Just the environment as in general. Seeing a healthy husband and wife at home, seeing a healthy family unit. And for me, I know even more so now since I've taken over the middle school, I try to, when I'm having conversations with my kids, I'm working, godly and Jesus principles into everything we talk about. We're acting a fool at school. Well, let's talk about why we don't want to do that. What does the Bible say about that? And just always making it a staple of conversations, right. And they become comfortable with it. It's like that communication thing you was talking about earlier. With when you're used to talking about it, it's not a surprise.
Yeah.
When you hear it on Sundays,
it becomes just part of your whole life. Let me just say this one thing. I'm not sure who posed the question, but I will say this: if you're somebody who wasn't raised in church like me, you don't know a whole lot. So if you don't know Jesus yourself very well, then the most thing I'd encourage you is just learning who he is for yourself. And as you grow and learn more about him, and he becomes more, your life begins to reflect him more. And then it's more of a natural process.
So I'm going to brag on Angie on this again, too. Why I married her? Because she wasn't in the church.
I was a Christian.
Okay, but
that.
Let me say it to whoever this is, because here is the danger, and here is the other side of it. Church or religion can cause you to miss Jesus. Okay? And the reason I say that is Angie had a deep love for Jesus.
I was that woman that would have been stoned, basically.
But we all are. We are all that woman that would have been stoned. But she made that personal. So when I'm agreeing with what Angie said, it was so personal for her. It was not a system.
Yeah.
It was relational. So if your kids think it's a system, eventually they rebel against the system.
That's true.
So what we grew up with was go to church, blah, 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 do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, this. And the next thing you know, they're like, okay, whatever. Well, the best that you can is get to know him. Walk with him. Don't just take what other people are saying, but this is a good example. He defended the woman caught in sin. The church attacks people in sin. So then all of a sudden, a kid that's raised up in this generation, if we're not careful,
you better be real.
And this
with
is why
generation.
Simple Church is what it is in the way that we are. We're not a perfect church. I can mess it up just like anybody else can. But the goal is, if we can let you see Jesus and not a denomination, not a system, not a religious hierarchy, then they have a chance to really surrender to Jesus and it changed them. And the way that works is being real and honest. Jesus doesn't expect you to change. He expects you to be real and come to him, and then change will naturally happen. But the problem is everybody's going through all this other stuff, I almost try to play the game. And the church is so good at playing the game that those kids, if they're not careful, they don't really ever see it. So mom at home, why I agree with what Angie's saying and what Josh is saying, is it's really at home when you're going, I cuss at home. That ain't no secret. Because I tell you I'm a cussing pastor. I don't try to hide that and play that game. thy kids know just like it is. Now I tell all y'all, and y'all go, "Oh, he's just joking. I'm sure he really doesn't." It takes everything I have not to cuss in this podcast. I promise you, somebody got to die. and I'm
DK
not-
appreciates it.
You're
I
not
know.
the only one.
Yeah, okay,
You
but at the same time, I deeply love Jesus.
And you don't cuss at anybody.
No, I'm talking about being
No.
funny.
I'm just putting-
I'm
I'm just
a
telling you.
humor guy, and it's bad. It's a bad habit. I'm not saying it's right, but I didn't try to always lie. I'll tell my kids, "Hey, I'm working on it," but I still deeply love Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
So more important than a behavior is the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So that they can see that we go on mission trip and we do these things. And like Emma, the most powerful dad moment for me is this last Juarez mission trip. And Emma stands up and she's grown. And I don't know anything about this. We're working and doing all this kind of stuff. And she looks at me and in the group and says, "Dad, I love my dad because when everybody else is working and all these things, my dad puts down all his paint stuff and goes and helps that little Mexican fella down there clean out rocks." And I don't speak the language. I'm not Angie. I'm not bilingual. And it made her emotional, made me emotional. I'm like going, you got to live it. Sermons are great, whatever. Church, lights, music. I mean, all that's a part of the culture, which I think is really kind of whacked out anyway, too, honestly. If you really look at it, that's why for me, going to serve at home or chaplain where you can get in the dirt a little bit is critical. So for a mom, church is important because there's lessons in there that you wouldn't know, but it can't be the system over the relationship.
Right.
And I would say, too, the little purple bags after church, if you start bringing them to Simple Church when they get older, those have discussion questions. Those are QR codes on there that help you to know what to talk about when you didn't grow up in church. It's easy dinner conversations. It's car conversations. It's things that you can do and get you started if you don't know where to start.
Yep. And that's why I say
Good.
you got to have it. And that was my
It's part of the environment, like he was saying.
And I'm gonna be it's the opposite of what I just said, but this is the other part. In this generation, they barely make church once a month, so let's don't lie either.
Yeah.
So it does help to get in there where you can hear it, because the kids, the more they're exposed to it on a regular basis, they're learning things just like I did. But in the same time, it's not just the system. It's not just
No.
coming to church. It's like that. It really transforms you, or you're learning that, and then that system kind of supports what's happening relationally. So I hope that makes sense.
Absolutely. I think you guys covered everything. We got all
I don't
marriage
know
stuff
if we
figured out.
covered everything, but we covered. See, isn't that fun,
That's
Angie?
right.
Like you're going next level.
Fun, I love
You
it.
might
level.
come back next week.
I might.
Keep on.
Because I'm gonna tell you what's coming in the new series. Well, I mean, again, if they really want to talk about that more, we can do it. But what's coming up is the That's Crazy series is a whole nother level.
Yeah.
I'm
just telling you, like when you think
Starts this week.
I can just tell you, precursor. I've already worked on the message. Got up early this morning. I was there at 6:30 this morning. Okay. Why? Because we got a lot going on. Boardwalk, everything's going on. I got to have extra hours to get it done. But following Jesus is crazy. And if you're not labeled that and it ain't working, you might check yourself. Because that's the part that's hard. So when you go back to religion and relationship, going to church ain't really that crazy. Now, for some people it is. But, boy, you really start following them, next level. It's coming.
Next
ready.
level.
So that's the next
That's a
level.
little teaser.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's it.
That's
So
it.
tune in for that this Sunday. If you missed Sunday's message, you can go back watch it on demand.
It was
Simple
a-
Church app.
It was the next level.
Crock
Watch
pots and
all three.
microwaves.
Yeah.
Thank you
Let's
for-
watch all
all three.
three even. Get them all.
Don't just watch one.
Thanks for subscribing. If you're listening to the audio version, join us live next week on Facebook. We're going to do Monday afternoons. We're sticking with it, like the format. Thanks for being here and joining us. Give us some feedback, and thank you for being a subscriber. Have a great week.
Peace.
Thank you for your questions.